Hello everyone, welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The Young and the Restless. Why and our spoilers reveal that many fans are asking the show to stop the Sharon Sharon Case Captivity stories. Can this character break the kidnapping curse? Sharon Case is a talented actress who knows how to play a wide variety of storylines. But she's been stuck doing the same one lately. In recent months, Sharon constantly seems to find herself getting held against her will. First, Sharon wound up as Jordan's Colleen Zank captive in the sewer, so that brought quite a nightmare for her. The next kidnapping ordeal came when Sharon got locked up with Phyllis Summers' Michelle Stafford in that old psychiatric clinic, where they were stuck playing Martin Lawrence Christopher Cousins mind games. Now Sharon and Nick Newman Joshua Morrow are on house arrest at Kane Ashby's Billy Flynn estate. But we should really just call it what it is and say they're being held hostage. Sharon has been through so much kidnapping trauma that she had a panic attack in that storage room. It's clear that all these captivity situations are catching up with Sharon and taking a toll on her mentally. Of course, a good hostage story can be great every once in a while, but is why and are going overboard with the constant kidnappings for Sharon. It's starting to feel way too repetitive at this point, so plenty of viewers have been complaining on social media. Soaps have a ton of other tropes to lean into, so it'd be nice to see more variety for Sharon moving forward. There are surely some other scenarios that Sharon could land in that don't involve getting locked away somewhere. Once Sharon's latest captivity jam is over, focusing on her romantic future might be a good option. The show could finally give Nick and Sharon fans what they want if they're willing to let this couple reunite. However, Sharon might get tired of trying to break out of the friend zone, and if that's the case, she could move on with another man eventually. It'd be interesting to see Sharon fall for someone new and get a fresh start. Regardless, let's hope that Sharon has some exciting things ahead of her that don't involve getting held hostage. It's time for Sharon to break the kidnapping curse and find some other sources of drama. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Sharon still has some stunning news headed her way, and nice. So stay tuned for updates on all the shockers. The Young and the Restless spoilers. Stop the Sharon captivity stories. Can she break the kidnapping curse? In the glittering dramatic world of The Young and the Restless, Sharon Newman has worn many hats: daughter, mother, therapist, businesswoman, lover, and survivor. But one title she can't seem to shake: professional kidnapping victim. The character, played brilliantly by Sharon Case for over 2 decades, has endured more captivity storylines than most soap heroines combined. Fans of the CBS daytime staple have watched Sharon dragged through emotional gauntlets, cancer battles, bipolar disorder, toxic romances, yet nothing defines her journey quite like being snatched, bound, and held against her will. Is it time to end this outdated plot device and allow Sharon to evolve? Or are the writers stuck in a tragic loop that won't release her, literally or figuratively, from captivity? Another year, another abduction, let's be honest. When the latest spoilers teased a surprising twist in Sharon's storyline, most longtime viewers muttered the same thing: she's getting kidnapped again, isn't she? Sure enough, recent developments have Sharon caught in yet another perilous situation. This time, it's a misguided revenge plot, a hostage scenario inside a remote cabin, or a drugged escape from a stalker. We've seen variations of this story so many times that fans can recite the tropes like a checklist: locked room, makeshift bed in a dingy basement, psychological mind games from her captor, dramatic ticking clock before rescue, last-minute scuffle where Sharon outsmarts or distracts the villain every few seasons. It's as if the writing team spins a wheel of suffering and Sharon's name comes up like clockwork. And while Sharon Case always delivers an Emmy-worthy performance, seriously, she could act her way through a hostage negotiation with her eyes closed. It's hard to ignore the fatigue these arcs now bring. The curse of the damsel in distress. Sharon wasn't always like this. Back in the late 90s and early 2000s, Sharon was a complex, layered young woman grappling with early motherhood, betrayal, and social climbing. She was vulnerable, sure, but never helpless. As the years wore on, however, her storylines became increasingly melodramatic, and not in a good way. Instead of leaning into her emotional intelligence and strength, the show often places Sharon in harm's way just to give other characters, usually men, something to react to, whether it's Nick, Ray, Dylan, or Chance. Her suffering often serves as a tool to highlight their heroism. Why is Sharon always the one duct-taped in a warehouse? Why not Phyllis, Nikki, or even Summer? Well, Phyllis has had her moments, but nowhere near the frequency. What gives a pattern of parallels take a grim trip down memory lane? Cameron Kirsten, 2004. One of the most intense and disturbing arcs in Y&R history. Sharon was manipulated, gaslit, and nearly killed by Cameron, a violent ex-lover who faked his own death. The storyline was gripping but left a lasting scar on the character and viewers. Matt Clark and the cabin drama, early 2000s. Sharon was terrorized in the infamous cabin scenes where Matt psychologically tortured her and set her up to be disbelieved by everyone she loved. Crazy Patty, 2011. Another abduction. Another mad villain. Sharon was targeted by Patty Williams during her mentally unstable reign of terror. Adam's death and disappearance, 2015. Not a traditional kidnapping, but Sharon was manipulated into thinking she gave birth to a stillborn child, a form of psychological imprisonment orchestrated by Victor and others. Jordan's stalker arc, 2023. More recently, Sharon found herself stalked and targeted by Jordan, part of a wider threat to the Newman family. Once again, Sharon was cornered, isolated, and placed in danger while the Newmans rallied around. Each time, Sharon emerges a little more damaged, a little more weary. She survives, yes, but at what cost? Psychological toll. Let the woman healing. The real world, no person could endure this much trauma without lasting effects. And to Y&R's credit, they've often explored Sharon's mental health with empathy. Her bipolar disorder was one of the most sensitively portrayed arcs in daytime television, handled with care and authenticity, but there's a difference between mental health drama and gratuitous suffering. There's an uncomfortable message. Underneath these repeated abductions, Sharon is fated to be a victim. No matter how much she grows, no matter how many businesses she runs or how many family members she supports, she is always one deranged stalker away from being stripped of her autonomy. That's not just lazy writing, it's borderline character sabotage. A call for creative evolution. The writers of The Young and the Restless have at their disposal one of the most beloved, nuanced female characters in soap history. Why waste her on boilerplate woman in peril tropes? Imagine what Sharon's story could look like if she wasn't duct-taped to a chair. Therapy practice expansion. What if Sharon opened a trauma center or started a support group for women dealing with abuse? Her past gives her unique insight, and her evolution from victim to advocate would be powerful. Power couple storyline. Reunite her with Nick or bring in a new love interest who treats her as an equal, not a damsel to be rescued. Let's see Sharon in a healthy, grounded relationship for once. Corporate power play. Sharon's time with Crimson Lights and Newman has shown her business savvy. Why not have her rise as a power player in the corporate world? Maybe even as a CEO or media mogul. Mentor role. Sharon could be a guide and confidant to the younger women of Genoa City, Summer, Sally, Claire. Imagine the intergenerational wisdom and tension. The possibilities are endless if the writers dare to break the cycle. Sharon Case deserves more. Let's give credit where it's due. Sharon Case has consistently delivered powerful, empathetic, and believable performances through some of the most outlandish scripts daytime has to offer. She brings humanity to Sharon even when the plot demands absurdity. Fans respect her, critics praise her. So why does the show keep hitting the same tired note with her? It's time for the writers to match the caliber of the actress with equally compelling material. Let Sharon thrive in her strength. Let her be the one doing the saving. Let her build, evolve, and shine. Can she break the curse? So, to answer the question, can Sharon break the kidnapping curse? Only if the writers do. It will take conscious effort to move her beyond victimhood. The next time a villain needs to make a splash, resist the urge to grab Sharon. Let her be the one who notices something's off. Let her catch the stalker, outwit the blackmailer, lead the charge. The soap world is full of archetypes: the seductress, the schemer, the hero, the victim. Sharon has been forced into the latter for far too long, but she's earned the right to be something more: a matriarch, a boss, a survivor on her terms. Until then, fans will continue holding their breath every time the promo voice says, "This week on The Young and the Restless." Because we all know what that usually means for Sharon Newman: another room, another lock, another scream. But maybe, just maybe, next time, the door won't close. Maybe this time, she kicks it.